Car Obsession is proudly supported by Carly and Draggy. Check out the video description to find out the latest discount codes. Hello guys, and welcome back to Car Obsession. You joining me at M-Tech because of course I'm here with Monique, my Mazda MX-5. Now hopefully by now you would have watched my first drive video, but in this video I'm talking about the build, what goes into it, and what you can expect from M-Tech if you want to choose them for your turbo conversion. So I'm joined by Adam from M-Tech. Give us a wave.
Hello.
There we go. So he's going to talk us through the build and talk about my build, because my build was a little bit more extensive compared to your average turbo conversion. So Adam, take it away.
Okay, so yeah, it was a little bit more in depth than our normal conversion. Aaron's decided to try and keep the air conditioning working in the car.
And I bet you were thrilled by that, weren't you?
I was very excited.
I bet Tristan. I bet Tristan is cursing me as we speak.
He was really excited to get on with it. I'm
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some choice words said, I think, but it's in there. It works nicely. There's plenty of clearance now. More importantly, the air conditioning works nicely.
Yes.
So the summer will be a little bit more pleasurable for you now. So yeah, other than that, it's been really good conversion. This car's benefiting now from a CAN check gauge. Which is inside the car. We'll obviously show you shortly.
Yes.
But that's reporting multiple streams of data, all from the ECU. We've added a little sensor down on the oil pressure as well for pressure and temperature to report to the ECU. We can also warn, using the ME442, we can send warnings to that dashboard now as well. So if there is any issues with any of those parameters, the CAN check gauge will be flashing and showing the issues. Obviously an extra bit of safety.
It's really handy to have that oil pressure gauge as well, because this is a later Mark 1. The OEM oil pressure gauge is kind of pointless because it doesn't rise and fall with the engine revs, does it? It's just fixed. It only really tells you
it's very much a switch.
Yeah, exactly. It only really tells you there's an issue, but it's kind of too late. So yeah, really handy to have that.
Yeah, this is nice. You've got the accurate reading in that gauge, and you've got the warning when it drops below a certain point. We've set it to flash on the dash, so you'll see it straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than that, it's a TD04 turbo conversion, something we've been doing for 8 years now. We use a G19 cast manifold. Again, we've been using that for many years now.
It looks very sexy, I have to say.
Lovely,
look at that.
They blew up lovely in the heat. They look lovely. So yeah, with a reconditioned TD04 turbo. Our own intercooler kit. Obviously, we've modified this one a fair amount to accept the air conditioning being kept in place. We've done an oil cooler on the car as well, so it's going to be a little bit safer on track days as well.
Yeah, so that's tucked underneath here. You can't really see it. If I lifted up this flap, there we go. You can kind of, well, you can see the intercooler. The cooler is behind it, but you can't see it because it's a bit too dark. Yeah,
so it's got a nice oil cooler on there, so that helps keep the oil temps down.
Yeah,
again,
exactly.
It's being monitored as well by the ECU and the CAN check for you. You've got some reconditioned RX-8 injectors in there.
Yes, if I come around this side, you'll see the yellowy bits just, I have to come down a bit lower. You can just see a little flash of yellow just in there, the RX-8 injectors.
Yeah, we've got uprated aluminium radiator as well.
Yes, that was very important to me because the radiator fitted was, like you said off camera, virtually brand new, because I fitted it only 1 or 2 years ago, but it was the old plastic one, and yeah, I don't really trust that, particularly for track day, so it's nice to have this, and it's from Tegawa, so yes, good quality stuff.
Yeah, all nice stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty much the main conversion. You've got ram air filter on there as well.
Yeah.
Stainless steel downpipe. We've mated up to a sports cat underneath, so it's all good for MOTs.
Yes.
We've also gone on to your, I think it's a Cobalt back box, isn't it?
Yes.
The 200 cell sports cat works really nicely. We don't really find much holdback in those cats, which is nice.
Yeah.
So you don't tend to lose too much performance by using them. In fact, your car made really good power. 2.0.
Yes, all about those gains.
It is, yeah. 203 on low boost, which is set at half a bar by the actuator.
Yeah.
And I think we made 235.8 on the high boost setting.
Not bad, is it? It's plenty for a little light car like this, a little MX-5. Yeah, so any issues with the build? I know, build, I should say. Obviously, yeah, there's a problem with the slave cylinder, but you said it's quite common.
It is, yeah. No, in all fairness, the build went nicely.
Yeah.
It's a really good job. Tristan did a really nice job on the car. it went, you know, really smoothly. Actually, it was only at the last point of firing the car up and moving it we had the slave cylinder issue, but easily solved.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not a lot of labour to do it, and the part itself isn't particularly expensive. So you know what, in the grand scheme of things, out for all the things that I'm not going to say could possibly go wrong, but I work in the trade. I know things are unpredictable. Sometimes everything's going swimmingly, and it just takes one thing to throw the whole job out, and it mutates it and makes it more difficult. So yeah, the fact that that was the only kind of hiccup, as it were, I'm very happy with that. The build itself looks awesome. When you first lifted up the bonnet, I must admit I got very excited. And it's weird because by the time you guys watch this, I would have driven the car, but at this point I haven't even turned the car over. So yeah, it feels really weird to be filming this now because I haven't actually even got into the driver's seat as of yet. Speaking of which, let's go through the can gauge. So I'll probably best to come, if you step in, I'll come over your right shoulder. There we go.
I'll start it up a minute.
Oh yes. So what I like about the, actually I'll let you fire it up actually so we can hear it. Are you ready, guys? Oh yes. Give it 1 or 2 blips. Oh, that flutter. Oh, yes. So what I really like about the can check gauge is it goes in place of the OEM oil pressure gauge. It's a very neat fit, and it almost looks as if it should have been there from factory. And there's so many different parameters you can play with. Adam showed me off camera, and it's got more data than you could ever want. So much data, I feel like an F1 driver. It's awesome. Look at that. So you've got nice little graphics, and instead of having a gauge there that wasn't really giving me much information, I've got all the information, probably more information than I'm ever going to need. Adam's nodding his head.
There is more than enough information, and these things are so clever. There's so much on them. Say we've only set up a few, and there's so much more you can do with it.
And then there's a little toggle switch just down there. It's kind of out of sight that you can use to go through the different options. There's a switch on the center console on the tunnel for the boost control. Now that switch was there previously. I had no idea what it did. It didn't do anything, but now that switch finally has a use. So you have your low boost and your high boost. So from the perspective of a prospective customer, talk us through the process. How long do you need the car, and yeah, what can your average customer expect from M-Tech?
So in terms of turnaround, we like to work at 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Of course, sometimes, like, your car wasn't too much of an issue. It was a slave cylinder, it's easy fixed. Sometimes we come across some other issues.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often though. Typically 2 weeks is where we like to be. So the first week, obviously you'll drop the car off, as I did with your car. We go through everything that we've discussed, via email or phone or however we've done it. We go through all of that, the spec you want, anything else that might need to be done to the car while it's here, or anything else you need looking at. We'll do that on the initial drop off. The guys will get the car in sort of start of the week. They'll tear it all apart. We'll go through everything, remove all the parts that aren't needed, start the build essentially. We like to do the build within the week. So the first week is the guys. It doesn't take the whole week normally.
No.
It obviously depends on spec. If you've got if we've got a very big build spec, then it takes a little longer. But,
exactly.
Yeah, typically it's not done, but I like to give the guys enough time to get it done.
Of course.
Without a panic. So yeah, they build it within the first week. We aim to map it towards the end of that week or the start of the next week. And then the week after is purely for testing. We like to know that these cars do what they do now, what they do before it's turbocharged. We like to know they cold start nicely, they hot start nicely, they sit in traffic. So we like to do a lot of testing with the cars to make sure.
Which is really encouraging.
We need to do it really. There's no point giving you 230 plus horsepower if it doesn't start in the morning.
No, of course.
That's no fun.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, obviously sometimes there's some little tweaks that need to happen. We leave an ECU, I haven't explained this to Aaron yet, but in the glove box here is a lead that's connected up to the ECU.
Yeah.
So if we ever need to do a remote tune or check anything, if there's something wrong, saves you a trip down here. We just give you a call and let you know what you need to do. You just need a laptop. You can remote dial in, have a check of the ECU.
Oh, that's
see if there's anything anything amiss.
Yeah.
To save you a trip down here. It may just be a minor tune where something a parameter's changed somewhere or something like that, or a component is wearing or something like that. We can make some adjustments for that.
Yeah.
To help you out, or saves you a journey down here if there's something very minor we can do remotely. So just a bit of convenience for you.
In regards to lead time, if someone is watching this and wants to book in, of course, if they're watching this video a year down the line, it's going to be different. But at present, what is your kind of lead time?
At present, we're booking really March time now.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we book up very fast. Got a lot of big projects on as well at the moment. So that obviously steps things back a little bit.
Lovely. Well, it's really good to have the build talked through. And one thing I have to say, guys, Adam and the MTech team have been brilliant, because I've fired so many questions, so many requests to Adam that he'll probably be quite glad to see the back of me.
No, not so.
But yeah, no, you've been really helpful. You've been really reassuring as well with any concerns I've had, and the customer service has been absolutely brilliant. I wouldn't just say that just for the sake of it. So guys, if you want a friendly, approachable company that can look after your MX-5 and give you that added boost to really make it a proper weapon, whether it's for a B-road blast or around the track, then be sure to check out M-Tech, because I think their reputation speaks for itself, and very shortly I will be experiencing their workmanship for myself. So yes, exciting times. Anyway, I think that's about time for me to end. Once more, a big thank you to Adam and M-Tech for looking after Monique and giving her a bit of boost, which is something I thought I'd never do. But hey, when in Rome, you only live once. So I will drop the details for M-Tech in the video description. If you have any questions or queries, then please do get in touch and I will come back to you as quickly as I can. If you have enjoyed this video or found it useful, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.